Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper and Chronicles. Coming back at you with another, not ratchet video, but we're doing bayonets today. Okay, here we have a reproduction bayonet. It looks pretty brand new, and you rarely would find one this looking this good if it was original. This is a reproduction of an M1905 bayonet. Yeah, they came with the long blade, but this is a reproduction, and we're gonna jump into it, and you're gonna see how this differs from a real or an original M1905 bayonet. Okay, but before we jump into it, I'm trying to reach a goal of 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully by Christmas. If you guys want to give me a Christmas present, why don't you subscribe to the channel and help me out? Give me the HBO special, help a brother out special. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. Okay, guys, you guys that subscribe, I really appreciate you. Okay, yeah, I saw this for kind of a good price. And I'm always fascinated. I've always been fascinated with this style of bayonet, the 1905 bayonet. As a child, we used to have one, this one of this size, but it was a World War I bayonet, and I think we acquired it from a World War I veteran. That he died or something like that, and there was a lot of stuff that they put out, and I think they put out this bayonet, not this bayonet, but a 1905, and it was in pretty bad shape. I remember as a kid playing with it, and I always had a lot of memories, just put it that way, of that bayonet. But it got lost probably like 50 years ago, or maybe 45 years ago. But and I have original ones like this that I've acquired throughout the years. And they have a mechanism, a locking mechanism that attaches to these hooks here. And the original does the same thing too. And you press the button in, and it comes out, and that's how it locks onto the rifle. Also, it has this hook over here that when you press the button, it goes down, and that's how you unlock it from the bayonet. You see it there. On the original, this hook would probably be almost twice as thick. You see the hook is kind of thin there. So let's unsheath this, and let's see what we have. Let me put this, center it a little bit better. Let's look at the sheath first. When I got this sheath, I guess it wasn't packaged good. And this part here, you can see they have like little spot welds underneath. So this is a separate part with the hanger, and it spot welded onto this metal part. It's spot welded on the back also. And from banging around or whatever on the truck, the delivery, this part was separated when I got it from the rest of the sheath. I put a little JB weld on this side and that side, and I try to baby it, not really treat it too rough, and I think hopefully, I should be good. This is the replica sheath, and it's flimsy. This doesn't hold a candle to the original. I've seen the original, and the original, it was kind of a fiberglass with like honeycombed. It was like, it had like little honeycombs in it, and I guess to make it more rigid or make it more harder or tough, I guess it would have to be for something this long, made of plastic, and have to meet a military standard. But this here, if I was to flex this too much, I think I could break it by hand. It's pretty flimsy and just say fragile. It has an engraving of the USA bomb. Yeah, not as it's there, but it's not like the original. This is the lines are really thin on this. You know, we just leave it at that and say that this is kind of a toy version of the original sheath. And there you go, made in China. Let's take a look at this blade. First, let's open it up. And the first thing we see here is, that's kind of funny, is we see a Torx screw. And as we know, the original wouldn't have a Torx. It would have a flathead screw. But I guess they weren't really concerned about attention to detail. And this one has a hex nut. That has a cutout on the other side, and the original had a metal embedded, had a, what would you call that? Eshwan or something like that. I'm not too great with the phraseology, but it had the metal part that you would screw into. It was embedded in the plastic, and this one, it just flips out, and you can see the opening there. The screw. On the original, this would be all flat, and only the tip would be would have the threads on it. So this also is not so great. Let's look at these handle halves. The handles don't seem too bad, actually. I mean, I did try these on an original, and they will fit an original bayonet, but not too great. This part here is a little thinner than the original handles, and you can put them on there and they'll fit, but you're gonna see a gap on at least the bayonet. The original bayonet I tried this on. So, like as a stopgap. Maybe not too bad. An effort. I don't know what this plastic is made of, but it seems pretty substantial. Not too bad, you know. It seems like they did an okay job on the handles. On the engraving, OL, I forgot who OL is, but they were one of the manufacturers in World War II. I think there was only 2 manufacturers in World War One. Who was that? I forget. Something. There were 2. SA? Who is SA? Something Armory. Springfield Armory. Yeah, Springfield Armory was one of the original ones, and there was another armory also in World War One, and then I think in World War II they had like 5 or 6 makers, and OL was one of them. I forgot what was OL. I don't know. You guys that know, leave me a comment. Let me know. The OL here is laser etched. On the original, it would be engraved, so, or stamped engraving. I'm not sure, but it would be a lot deeper than this, and it. I don't know, it would, yeah, you can feel it would be really deep. This is just like a light laser engraving, and it has 1942 OL on the bottom. Again, that's not the way they did it back then. This would be either 1942, I think 42 and 43, after 43 they stopped putting the date on them, and then they were making them shorter, so they went to the 10-inch blade. This is the 16-inch blade, and that's in World War II. In the beginning, they started with ones this long, but as the war went on, I guess they figured, oh, we don't need a bayonet that's 16 inches, a 16-inch blade, so let's go for 10. And a lot of the original ones were cut down. They would cut them down. They would send them back to the factory to get cut down to 10 inches. And so you would see some with World War One markings on them, like 1918. You would see the dates, 1917, but they would be cut down to 10 inches. And this one on the back says 440 stainless steel. On the original, the crossguard was pinned in, and this has like some epoxy or something holding it. There you can see some epoxy. As I said before, this does have the locking mechanism, has a spring and a latch, and this hook here for the rifle. But as I said, thin, not the original specs on the rifle hook. So yeah, like I said, not the greatest copy or attention to detail. The only decent thing I would say about this bayonet is that it is thick. It's probably around the original thickness of the original bayonets. And beside the crossguard, if this was pinned in, this actually wouldn't be too bad. Not the mechanism, the locking mechanism, but just the blade itself and the handle. I think it's, from what I can see, it looks to be one piece. So the handle, like the original, was the blade, and then it went, you would get the crossguard on it, it would be one piece. If you would take the crossguard off, the blade and the handles would be one piece. If this was pinned instead of glued or epoxied, I wouldn't, I would think it would be okay. Except, the smaller details like the screw and the hook and the locking mechanism, yeah, I could see them cutting corners there. And it wouldn't be too bad. But from what I can see, the blade itself and the handle seem to be pretty good, or pretty decent, or a pretty decent facsimile of the original. But it's just the little things that kind of, I don't know, kind of mess it up. But you have to see, it's made in China, and it's modern made, and you're not gonna be able to construct stuff like you could 80 years ago, 70 years ago. Those construction methods are not economical, and if they would be able to make a bayonet like the original, it would probably be a lot more expensive. I paid $30 for this bayonet, and I think I found it like on a sale, or someone was selling it. It was brand new. They had a couple of them, and it was on eBay for $30. And I was looking around, and the average price for this bayonet goes for like around $50. I remember like some years ago, these were kind of in that $30 range, but I'm talking about maybe like 10 years ago. They were around $30, but now I guess it's hard to find them for $30. Like I said, the average price is like around over $40. I think closer to $50 for this bayonet. So if you see this and you're thinking of getting it, now you know some of the story. Okay, guys, until next time.